Now we're getting into the inner source, the idea of the source being something that's within you. For creative people, the muse represents our link, our bridge to the source. This is where our imagination, our creativity, our inspiration, these are all facets, expressions of the source, the way the source is guiding us, communicating with us. And as a shaman, we learn to heed, to obey, to scratch those itches. Some people might regard conscience as part of this source. I remember in the Walt Disney movies, Jiminy Cricket said, let your conscience be your guide. And there's a lot of truth in that, except for some people, I think conscience comes to represent society. What society tells us we should or should not do. What the church tells us we should or should not do. What our peers tell us, our family tells us we should or should not do. What's proper or what's improper. Much of what the source is telling us sometimes contradicts what our family tells us, or what the church tells us, or what society tells us, what the community tells us. So I think we have to be careful about this voice of conscience, the voice of should and should not. In these heroic adventures, the hero is living a normal everyday life, and then the call comes, the call to adventure. This call is something pulling me to go beyond these limits that I've been living all my life. And when you fight against the call, the command of the source, then you're just struggling as a solo, as the Hopi elder said, the lone wolf. Life is a struggle then. And when you obey the command of the source, when you answer that call, you have this vast wellspring of supernatural power flowing through you. Then you're Surfer Joe on that 50-foot wave. Wow. Tapped in to that rush of supernatural power, that wellspring that's bottomless. These dreams, these visions, these aspirations, these commands from the source, this is your potential, which is pulling you to actualize yourself. The source and the capital S, self, not the little s, self, which is ego, the person we think we are, but the capital S, self, of self-actualization. The source is that self. It is your potential. So the shaman discipline that we're talking about, this is the discipline we practice and master as a way of actualizing ourselves, i.e., achieving union with our source.